Hi guys, this is Debbie Eno from Teacher Success Coach. Yes, I'm in another park today and I decided to do a live in this beautiful park, and I realize how much I love parks anyway because of the naturist aspect of it and the naturalness of it. So I have decided to come live regarding in the next just 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we're back at school. Could you imagine? We had 6 weeks off, and 6 weeks already finished, almost finished, and we're back at school on the 1st of September. I also still have some marking to do. I've not even looked at the marking. Well, I did look at the marking the first week, and then I left it. I've got some marking I need to complete by the 1st of September. It's just really amazing how much the time goes. And as teachers, people seem to always think that, oh, you guys have a lot of holidays. No, we have 6 weeks, but in the 6 weeks, we have pile of marking to do, which students have given us the work. We gave them the work to hand in before we break up, and some of them have done it, some haven't. So we still have those marking to do, to give them back when they go back in September, to give them the feedback, etc. So whoever think in their head that teachers, have lots of holidays, etc. No, we don't. Because once we go back in September, the next break is October, 1 week in October. Yes, I hear you say, oh, but you got another week in October. Yes, but the amount of work we have to do before October comes is amazing, right? I'm not complaining about teaching because for me, it's my passion, it's my mission, it's my purpose. I love it. But at the same time, there are a lot that goes into teaching. And to be an excellent teacher, you're constantly updating your skills. Not only your skills in terms of the contents, but also your ability to deal with students that have got different challenges and different dynamics, etc. Because as a teacher, your job is not only to teach them academically. As I kept saying on my programs, when students come to us, they come with a backpack, and in the backpack there's so many things that in it. One of it is very heightened emotional distress, because we don't know whether or not we are the first person that is positive to that child they're seeing for the whole morning. We don't know what their life is like. So that's the reason why as teachers we have to be constantly prepared. When the students come to us and they give us some attitude, we don't just look at the attitude as being the attitude they're giving us right now. We need to look deeper than that in terms of what is causing that attitude, because a lot of time it's not about us teachers, it's about what they had to deal with before they come to school, because some of them are young carers, some of them have siblings to drop off to school before they get to school themselves. Some of them may not even have a breakfast before they come to school. So all those things we as educators have to deal with when we are dealing with children, or even young people, or even when it has to do with education, basically. Because they're coming to education not because that their minds are free. They're coming because they have a lot. They want to better themselves. And some of them have a lot of things that's going on with them. Even when I was teaching in university and in the colleges, when these adults come to us, yes, they're coming to learn academically, but they also have also a backpack as well, which have to be unpacked before we could actually get to the academic aspect of it. So in terms of we going back in the next 2 weeks, it's just a reminder that, oh my goodness, 6 weeks really came quickly. And I am sure, like me, other educators have lots of teaching things to do before they start on the 1st of September. Those are the teachers in the UK. Teachers in the US have already started in August. And as we know, as much as we going and teach, we have a hell of a lot of preparation to do, because you might be going to a new class, you might be teaching a different subject. It's like all of that. And anytime you're doing those things, you need to prepare again, because you'll be getting a different type of students, a different type of children. You need to think, okay, this is a group of students I had in this last academic year. This didn't work very well. How can I navigate it to work differently. You might have a situation where, students were extremely challenging. You now need to think, okay, how could I deal with students differently? For me, the school I was in, there were extremely challenging days sometimes, but there's some fantastic days as well. And the challenges actually taught me to be a better teacher, how to navigate students in terms of when they've said something and I may not like what they've said, or the way they say it, I perceive it as being aggressive and rude. I have to reassess and say, okay, was it aggressive and rude, or was it my perception of what it was? So those are all the things we constantly have to be thinking about in terms of being a teacher. Not just a good teacher, being an excellent teacher. Because I don't just want to be a good teacher, I want to be an excellent teacher. Teaching is my craft, and I want to be excellent at my craft. And in order to be excellent at your craft, you constantly have to be updating. You constantly have to be a superb reflector. You constantly have to ask yourself several questions all the time. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing a series on mindfulness in teaching. So consciously mindful when you're actually teaching, or teaching consciously and mindfully, however you want to put it. So basically it's just looking at how we as educators teach in a very mindful way. Not just teach, but we need to be mindful how we teach and how we address our students, and how we consciously become aware of how we deal with our students, either in terms academically or in relationship to academically or emotionally, because there are some children do not know how to navigate their emotions. And especially if you are teaching the 11-year-olds that just come from primary school, where in primary school they're used to having one teacher all day, being in the same classroom all day. But now they're transitioning into secondary school, and boy oh boy, the whole situation is so very different, whereby they're not in the same classroom all day. They're moving around with their books, bag and coats, right? And they're going to different classrooms and meeting different teachers. And for some students that works okay, but for other students it could be very traumatizing. And some educators don't realize the trauma this have upon these children, because they're moving from primary school, as I said, where they have one teacher in the same classroom all day teaching all the subjects, where they're now moving. Some of them are not even 12 yet, they're still 11. They're moving to different classroom with coat, bags and books, and in the other classroom there's a new face. It is really traumatizing for them, for these students, because they're not used to that. And as teachers, we need to be very, very mindful of how we deal with these children. They might demonstrate behavior challenges, but we need to remember this behavior challenges is not for us. It's how they are. They're too young to navigate and understand the emotions that they're feeling and how to deal with this emotion. Because as I said, remember, they had one teacher all day. Now if they have 5 lessons, if they have 5 periods or 6 periods in the day, they might have 6 different teachers teaching 6 different ways, using 6 different methods. They're going to be confused. They're going to be overwhelmed. So if you teach younger children, those are something you need to be mindful about, how you are going to navigate their behavior and how you are going to help them to navigate this new normal to them. And remember, they're also coming from a COVID setup where they've been taught online, previously as well. Woo, this is quite a big thing in relationship to these young people. As this is actually coming to me, just make me realize that I really need to do a whole session on supporting educators to deal with the 11-year-old transitioning from primary to secondary school, and not having just one teacher, but having 5 or 6 different teachers depending upon how many lessons they've got that day. Anyway, educators, I want you to be mindful, and I do understand that we also need the support, because we're also human and we also have a backpack as well with a lot of things in it, and how are we getting the support? And in some schools, I'm also aware that some schools are not very supportive, but one of the things I constantly support educators on and using various tools, and one such tool for me is meditation and yoga. I'm starting yoga soon, but meditation for me is a very, very big thing. And walking in nature, like now walking in the park and just releasing the negative energy you have, and just mindfully walking in the park, where you actually taking in the trees, taking in the birds, listening to the song of the birds, looking at the animals in the park, and those are very, very, very powerful. I posted a video yesterday which was me actually walking to a park, and there was a bird trying to make a nest, and in the process of this bird making the nest, there was, the birds were singing, and it was beautiful, and it made me very, very relaxed. And those are some things that you could do, educators, to be mindful and release the stress that I know that you'll be carrying and you'll be under, because teaching is not easy, but it is also enjoyable, and it is also impactful, because you're making a difference in the lives of young people. Anyway, guys, as you know, I could talk for England. Take care, stay blessed. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. I can't even see the people who are looking. Anyway, thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you taking the time off and listening to my live. I'm very, very appreciative of that. Even though I may not call people's name out, it means that I am not always able to see the names that are looking to my live. But I'm very, very appreciative of that, and I do thank you guys for that. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic day. Take care, stay blessed. Thank you guys for listening. Have a fantastic evening, night, morning where you are, and speak to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.